Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. It has been a while and I feel super guilty. Life has just got in the way, but I am back here today with a brand new video. I wanted to discuss the pros and the cons of discussing what goes on in your relationship or your dating life with your friends. This is something that I know a lot of females do, kind of no matter what age. Because we like to talk and we like to discuss things, I find we tend to tell our best friend things, or we might put it in a group chat and ask for other people's opinions and so on. So I just wanted to discuss it. You know, I've been kind of back and forth with, is it a good thing to discuss what goes on in your relationship with your friend, or is it best that it's not discussed, just keep it to yourself? I haven't actually really come up with just one answer. For me, there are literally both pros and cons to it. If I start with the pros, sometimes your friends will notice what's going on before you do because you're in the situation. Personally, I don't tell a huge amount of people my business or about my dating life. I probably tell like one or two people. Depends the situation. If it's just somebody that I'm seeing, I may not even discuss that person. If it's like a boyfriend or a potential boyfriend, I might just tell my best friend. When something happens, if you discuss and you speak to your closest friend about it, sometimes they can be like, do you know what, you've overreacted, or this guy's just taking the piss. I find sometimes it's quite useful to have somebody to talk to because they can see what's going on from the outside. When you're in that bubble or you're in the situation yourself, it can be really difficult to kind of just logically see what is going on. The second thing that I would say could be quite good is your friend will kind of get to know the person. I know they'll meet them, they'll, you know, form their own opinion and they'll decide whether they like him or not, but sometimes it's nice to kind of inform your friends about the person that it is that you're dating, so they kind of have like a brief overview as to the person that you're dating, so when they meet him they kind of know what he's like. As an example, you could be dating somebody that's very sarcastic and your friend could meet him. If you've not told your friend, like, do you know what, he's a little bit sarcastic, it's nothing personal, don't, you know, blah blah blah, it's not going to be so much of an issue because they know the type of person that he is. So that's it really. I can only really think of two things that are positive about telling your friends about your situation. And the cons for me, to be honest, I would say the cons outweigh the pros. You're gonna have a completely different view and opinion about that. But anyways, number one, the biggest con for me, when you're going through something with a partner or with somebody that you're seeing, you're gonna tell your best friend like everything. You're gonna be like, this is what they've done, this is what they've said, blah blah blah. And I swear, and I have been guilty for this as well, your closest friends, I swear, it's like they remember all of this awful stuff. Like, you will tell them, like, I had an argument with my boyfriend, they'll be like, oh yeah, do you remember that argument you had in 2015 when he said this to you and blah 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 and you got really upset? Even though you might have moved on from a situation, I find that your friends are not as forgetful and they're not as forgiving because, to be honest, they care about you, so they don't want you to get hurt. If you're trying to work through something, it can be really difficult when you're telling your friends. And do you know, this isn't even just about telling your friends really, because even telling your family members can sometimes also be a bit awkward. But if you're telling everybody every single detail that's going on in your relationship, if people mess up and you're trying to work through the situation, it's just going to be extremely hard for you to do so. The second one I would say is, it's just nice to have a bit of privacy. I don't necessarily want my friends to know every single detail of my relationship because I just think it's a bit invasive, and even for your partner as well. I wouldn't appreciate my partner telling his friend like every single thing that we argue about. I'd be a bit like, it's a bit like, who's this relationship with? Is it me and you, or is it me, you and your friends? I just think some things need to just be kept between, you know, you and your partner. The third con for me is you start to, it depends how easily influenced you are. So this will vary depending person to person. But sometimes you can be influenced by people's opinions. And yeah, so, you know, your friend could be like, you shouldn't forgive him, or, you know, this seems a bit like this, or it seems a bit, you know, are you sure you want to be with him? Ultimately, you've just got to be able to make these choices and these decisions for yourself, especially when it is about a relationship. Yeah, I would say it kind of sways your opinion. And again, it can be a good thing because sometimes you can't see what's going on in the relationship or in the situation. But because you've got to think about it this way, you're in a relationship with this person, you know the good and the bad. Realistically, your friend is just only going to hear about probably the bad stuff. You might tell them the good stuff as well, but we go to people to complain and to moan. So you're probably just going to your friends to moan. So if you're always telling your friend all the bad stuff, they're probably not going to have such a great opinion on your partner. And ultimately, when it comes to you thinking like, what should I do? They're going to probably tell you to bin him off because all they're hearing is negative things. Oh yeah, unwanted advice. So this can happen as well. Like if there's something that's going on and you just want your friends, in fact you don't even want your friend's opinion, something's going on, you just kind of want to vent, you just kind of want to say to your friend like, this is how you're feeling, you're quite upset at the minute, this is what's happened, blah blah blah. And then your friend just comes out and says, do you know what, you need to get rid of him, he always does this, blah blah blah, you know, it goes on and goes on and goes on. And she was just like, I really didn't need your opinion or your advice, I just wanted to talk to you. But because you always go back and you tell your friends about what's going on in your relationship, they feel entitled and almost, you know, just they feel like they have the right to go and tell you how to deal with your relationship. So yeah, the unwanted advice and opinions, that can just happen as well the more and more you go and discuss your relationship with people. So after kind of sitting here and thinking about this, I personally, I'm not a fan of going and telling your friends every single thing about your relationship. I think, yeah, if there's something that's going on and it's not sitting right with you, maybe have that one friend to ask an opinion. But I don't think everything should be discussed, and I don't think it's a really good habit to form, because ultimately it can drive a wedge in your relationship. You might be swayed by people's opinions and you're not doing what you really want to do as well. And also you might start to feel a bit embarrassed because people, like in relationships, people have arguments, people do messed up things, people say messed up things, and if you're going and you're telling your friends everything, and then if you decide to go and forgive that person, you're gonna feel like an idiot. Like you're really gonna feel like an idiot. And you start to see people go through that and then they end up just shutting themselves off because they feel embarrassed that they've literally told the whole world their business, but they're still with that person, and it's like, it's a bit awkward. My opinion is literally just not to tell everybody your business, keep it to yourself. Maybe have that one person that you can find in you, that one person as well that you need to trust, because not everybody's your friend, not everybody wants what's best for you. Some people are secretly jealous of your relationship or your situation, whatever it is, and they're not always going to give you the best advice as well. People don't actually care. Like really, many people do not care what goes on in your relationship. It's just a little bit of gossip for them to kind of take the heat off what's going on in their situation. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up or like it. You know, it's the same thing, but whatever. And if you want to follow me on my social media, it's at Woman Overload on my Instagram. I had to think about that. Or you can go directly to my website, which is www.womanoverload.com. Thanks for watching, guys.